Oh, hi, everybody. We're going to start seeing people coming in. Let's see, let me switch this. Hello, everybody. How is everyone doing this morning? Feel free to put on your camera. Let us know what you're drinking today. I've got a little coffee, French vanilla in my mug. Water, I love it. Canada Dry, awesome. Wow, where's everyone from today? I'm from Northern Virginia. We're just going to give a couple seconds and let people get in the room. I am from Northern Virginia, right outside of DC. So I get to go in and visit a bit and see our nation's capital, which is I always find fun and exciting. Jamaica, New York, drinking water. Hydrate. That's awesome. North Carolina. I know we have some South Carolina folks in the house. Texas, Birmingham, Pittsburgh. Who's the farthest from me? San Diego, Virginia, another Virginia fellow. All right. I think now I just want, as we get settled and as we get started, I just want everybody to know this class is being recorded. So at any point in time, don't feel if you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not getting all this information. There's so much to learn, and it's okay. It is all being recorded. So don't feel like this isn't a craft along class. It's more of just to expose you to all the things you can do with the mug press. And the craft along part that I do will be recorded, and you can always go back and watch it. When I watch a class, I always like to watch it and then put it on pause and keep going from there. All right. And I think we've got about everybody here. And so we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, Alaska, I think you're the furthest from me. So we'll go ahead and get started with our presentation today. We're going to be talking, well, let me back up. The class, the flow of the class is going to be a presentation with slides. So I can show you the product, and I can show you in Design Space. It allows me to get a little bit closer and go a little bit slower as I go through. So we'll start off with a slide presentation, and then we'll go into Design Space. Now, I do assume that you have at least a working knowledge of Design Space, so we're not going to go into a deep dive on Design Space. We have a Cricut 101 class for that, and that class has also been recorded and is on the Michaels website. So anytime you can go into there and watch that class at any point in time, or you can sign up for a live class if you'd like to in the future. So once we've gone into Design Space, then I will go we'll move to an overhead camera where you'll actually get to see everything in action, which is really exciting. I've got my heat press, my mug press is all set up and it's heated. So I'm hoping I only have to touch it one more time to get it going before we go over there. I do have people helping out on the back side, so they will post links for you as we go through items. As questions may come up, we'll go ahead and pop them in there. And then what we'd like to do, we're going to try something a little bit different today and just focus on the presentation and not the chat at the beginning. And as questions arise, jot them down. And then when we go to the live point, we will be able to accept those questions, and Joy will ask me the questions live. So you'll get a live answer. If it's something that can be answered on the back end, they'll go ahead and do that for you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Oh, did I introduce myself? I don't think I did. My name's Kesley, and I am working with Cricut to help Michaels present classes for you guys. I've been doing it for about 2 months, and I really enjoy it. It's quite fun. So, all right, here we go. The mug press with infusible inks. That is what we're here to learn about today. So what is it? What is the mug? What is the mug press? It is, it's a new product from Cricut, and it's part of the whole infusible ink system. Oh dear. Sorry. It's part of the Infusible Ink system. It allows you to make a professional mug in minutes. And by professional mug, I mean the design is stuck on that mug. It's not coming off. It's dishwasher safe. It is there. It's a professional looking mug. So it just takes your mug making from a DIY level to a professional level. It's a pro quality mug. So the mug press is super unique in that it has one touch setting. So Joy, I'm sorry. Is my presentation looking huge to you, or is it?
It looks perfect.
Okay. All right. It looks huge on my screen. So I just wanted to, okay. So, so the Cricut Mug Press, what makes it different? What makes it special? It is a one-touch machine. So all the settings are done. You literally just push the button to turn it on, and it has these little 5 LED lights that heat up the machine. And then when you put your mug in there and close it, it does the heating and the sensing for you. So you don't even have to worry about it. You literally put your mug in it, you close it up, and it does the work for you. It's also such a cute design. I have to say, like, I love it sitting next to my Cricut Joy, that it just sits there. It looks so cute. So I love the design of it. It's very home friendly because it has a safe outside to it. So the only part of the mug press that gets hot is this turquoise plate right here. Everything else, the white parts of it, do not get hot. So you can touch your mug press while it's heating up, and it won't get hot. The handle that sticks out of the mug press also does not get hot. So when you finish, you can pick your mug up and you won't burn yourself. It fits 2 sizes of mugs, an 12 ounce and a 15 ounce blank mug fits into this. Let's see, it sits on a surface. I like to use it on like my countertop surface. But it sits on a surface, so you don't need like a whole stand for it or anything like that. It can go on a tabletop, a countertop. You could, even if you had an extension cord, you could take it outside and work outside. We do recommend that when you're working with your Cricut press, you have a window open, which leads me into the science of infusible ink with Cricut. So I'm just going to do a little science chat with you about what makes infusible ink different than, say, heat transfer vinyl. So if you're familiar with heat transfer vinyl, it is a vinyl that has an adhesive coating on the back. And when the adhesive coating is heated, it turns into a glue and it sticks to the surface. So infusible ink is actually an ink on a transfer surface. And when that ink is heated to about 400 degrees, it turns into a gas. And the gas is then permeated onto the mug. And the mug is treated with a substrate that accepts the gas. So it's got like fibers in it, polyester fibers. And it sucks it into the mug, and they merge so that the dye then becomes part of the mug surface. And that's what makes it dishwasher safe. So whether you're using the transfer sheet that's pre-printed or you're using the infusible ink pens, when it's heated, it goes from a solid state to a gas state, and it merges onto the substrate of your mug, and that's what makes it stick and be so permanent. So it skips that whole liquid state, whereas like heat transfer vinyl, when you heat that, the glue melts into like a liquid form, and then as it cools, it hardens and it sticks to the surface. So infusible ink infuses into your blank. And using the Cricut Mug Press is literally as easy as 1, 2, 3. So when you think about it, the first step is to design your project, attach your project to your mug, and slip your mug into the mug press and heat it up, and you're done. That's all you have to do. let's see, sorry, let me go. Yeah, that's fine. So in this first step, using Cricut Design Space, you'll create your design. Now, again, if you're not familiar with Design Space or you want to learn a little bit more about it, go ahead on the Michael's website, check out the 101 class. You can sign up for a live class too. And I reiterate that because Design Space is a great program. As you learn it, you'll become a pro with it. It's so super easy. So the Cricut Mug Press works with Design Space. It works with any of the Cricut machines. So you could use a Cricut Maker, a Cricut Explore Air, or the Cricut Joy to use the Infusible Ink transfer sheets or to use the Infusible Ink pens. It works with all three machines. Now, the Infusible Ink transfer sheets, that's what you're looking at here. One thing to note is when you take your Infusible transfer sheet out of the box, it comes in a black sleeve. And you want to limit the exposure of the transfer sheet to light and humidity, light and air. Oops, my mug press is popping. Let me just turn it back on. Okay. So it comes in this little black sleeve, and you want to leave it after, like, it comes with two sheets. So if you use one sheet and you want to save the other sheet, just put it back in the packaging to use for another time. So it works very much like you cut it very much like you would cut any type of vinyl. So it has a transfer sheet on the back, and then it has a specialty paper and then the ink on top of it. So when you're cutting it, you're actually mostly just cutting the paper, and then your transfer sheet will stay there to hold everything together. When you're using the Cricut Infusible Ink pens, you work on laser paper, and you can do that again right in your machine. It will use your pens, and then it will cut it out for you. So you can use the Infusible Ink pens. There are 3 different types of pens. There's one specifically for Cricut Joy. There's one type specifically for freehand drawing, and then another type for your Maker and Explorer. So the Maker and Explorer pen you can use in both machines. You don't have to have a separate pen for that. But you do use butcher paper because unlike your transfer sheet, the transfer sheet has a specialty paper that works as an insulation, if you will, between your design or the ink and the heat press plate. So if you didn't use butcher paper on your design, the design could transfer to your heat press plate and then later be transferred onto a future design. So when you're using the Infusible Ink pens, we'll use butcher paper as extra layers, but you don't need that for the Infusible Ink transfer sheet because it's basically already part of the transfer sheet. But those are the 2 types of products that you can use with your Cricut Makers or Explorer or Joy to make your designs. Cricut has 3 different types of mugs that are available. So there's a 12-ounce mug, the small one. There's the 15-ounce mug, the large one. And then there's this cute, the one on the right here. It's black inside and a black handle, and then the white outer edge of it to design. So this one is also a 15-ounce mug. What Cricut has done, they did a ton of research to create their own mugs with their own specialty, I'm losing my word, but what makes it special, the cover on it, that's not the right word, but what makes it compatible with the system. What's the word I'm looking for?
The coating.
The coating, thank you. The coating on the mug is unique to the Cricut mugs, and it works with the Infusible Ink and the mug press. So all 3 together are designed to work in unison, which is nice because when you get it, it's going to work. There's no question about it. And when you're using the Cricut Infusible Ink, like I mentioned before, since it infuses into the coating, it becomes one with the mug, and you can wash it. It won't crack, it won't peel, it won't fade. It will be there for quite, for, I say a lifetime, but you never know. And I don't know what might happen in 101 years. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. Look at all the fun mugs, all the different types of mugs that you can create using the Mug Press. There are tons of designs in Design Space, as well as your own designs that you can create. To get started with the whole process, the first step is the activation of your Mug Press. Now, I'm not always one for reading the instructions out of the box, so I took my Mug Press out of the box and plugged it in the wall and thought it was broken because it didn't turn on. And then I read the instructions and it said activate. So to activate your Mug Press, you need to have Cricut Design Space downloaded on your computer, and then you open up Cricut Design Space to set up your machine. So if you have a Maker, an Explore Air, a Joy, a Heat Press, you've already done this process before for a different machine. So now we're just going to do it for the Mug Press. So you set it up, you select a heat press because it's a heat unit, and then you select the Cricut Mug Press. And then you follow the instructions. So it tells you to place it on a well-ventilated area. It does, the gas does leave off a little odor, so it is smart to have it in a ventilated area. You plug your heat press, your Mug Press into the wall, and then you add, it comes with the cord, comes with the machine, it's in the box. So you plug the cord into the back of the Mug Press and the USB side into your computer. And then your Design Space recognizes the Mug Press, turns it on, sets it up, checks the hardware, and you're ready to go. And then your Mug Press will turn on. So don't skip that step like I did. All right, so then once your Mug Press is set up, we're ready to create your first design. So you just need to choose how you want to do your first design. Do you want to use the transfer sheet? So this transfer sheet here is uses the Cricut cutting mat. It uses the Infusible Ink transfer sheet, whatever design you want, a blank mug, a lint roller, and heat resistant tape. So when you're doing any type of infusible ink transfer, whether it's on a t-shirt or a mug, you want to make sure that it is lint free. So you want to wipe your mug down, run your lint roller over it. If you have a piece of lint on the blank that you're adhering the transfer to, it will lead to color irregularities. So I like to start with my hands clean, and I wipe down my mug, and then I lint roll my mug before I go. And the same thing, whether you're using infusible ink pens, you want to do the same process with your mug. The materials you need outside your mug and your lint roller are your pens, your laser paper, and you want to select a laser paper versus just a regular copy paper, because the laser paper has a coating that lets the ink kind of sit on top of the paper, whereas regular copy paper is a little bit more fibrous and the ink can sink down into the paper. So you do choose a laser paper. You need to have your butcher paper handy, and definitely you need to have your heat resistant tape. You do not want to put, because your machine gets so hot, you do not want to put, you don't want to put regular Scotch tape in your machine. This tape is specially designed to withstand the heat of your Mug Press. And then you're going to open up your Design Space. Now, there's one quick way to get to your project, and that's in the upper right corner of Design Space, and you select New Project. That'll take you right into your canvas, and you're ready to go. A couple other ways to get started are to scroll down and look at the new Cricut Mug Press. This is a curated list of already designed mug ideas. So you can view all and see all the different designs that are available and select one just to get started with. You can select a blank setup mug if you're using the Cricut Infusible Ink pens, or you can select a blank setup mug if you're using transfer sheets. So once you kind of know, all right, I either want to use a pre-made design, let me look through that library and find one I like, or I'd like to make my own design. Are you using a transfer sheet or are you using infusible ink pens? And then you go from there. When you select a pre-done design, it will pop up a window that tells you you can either customize it or make it. So this is a design setup mug to help us make our mugs, make sure we get our designs in the right spots on the mug. So on this one, you would select customize. You also would select what size mug you're making. So are you making a 12-ounce mug or are you making a 15-ounce mug? And then you would select the size, the design on the edge of the mug. So this is the edge of the design right here. And this can either be like, you could add a scallop to it, you could do like a tear look to it, it could be a zigzag, anything like, you have like 4 or 5 different choices for each size for this edge right here. So that you select that in this drop down box right here. And then you'd say customize it and it would go in. Now, if you wanted to find your own design, you would go to the new project, a new canvas, and then you would select images. And when you select images, you can search for your images and do a search for Mug Press, and you get a lot of images coming in, over 800. And then you can select one from here and insert that onto your canvas. So like the good morning one, and insert that onto your canvas. Okay, so real quick before we're ready to go live, everybody. And before we do that, I just want to see if there's any questions that Joy popped up before I go live. Oh, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. Sorry about that. I think we're good to go. I think all of the questions have been answered. Somebody just did pop up a good question. Is the finished mug microwave safe? And I have to admit, I was going to say I put mine in the microwave, but I didn't ask that question.
Yes, the mugs are microwave safe, and the infusible ink is microwave safe. And it's also, I saw a question once about like, can I put my lips where the design is? Yes, you can. In fact, I am. I got it on my mom. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen and I will start with in Design Space, and we will make our own mug. How about that? So I'm on my, let's go to the home page. So this, when you go into Design Space, here's your home page, and I'm going to select a new project. So if you go back and watch the class and you want to craft along with the video, might be where you start. Okay, so we're going to select a new project, and I'm going to go to the images and select Mug Press. And look at all the different designs that come up. There are so many options. And you can see when you hover over a design, it will tell you if it's a draw type of design or if it's a cut. If it doesn't say draw, then it is a cut type of design. I know this one here is a draw design with the trees. I love that one. So let's scroll down. I love that good morning mug, and I think that will be the one we'll start with. Scrolling. Sorry if I'm going fast, guys. So here's the good morning mug. So I will select that mug, and it shows down in my queue, and I will insert that onto my canvas. Now it comes in ready to go. I don't have to do a thing. No resizing, no changing, no adjusting, nothing. It's all right there. And the 3.79 height, that is for the larger mug. Did I do that right? Yeah. Yeah, that's the larger mug. I'm going to just double check on this. Make sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Let's just double check. Large hearts. Let's insert a different large one and just make sure. I've been looking. Okay, so large is 4.25. So this would be a large mug design, and this is a small mug design. So I'm going to get rid of this one because I just want to have the good morning design. And so this is going to go on a small mug. Now, one thing, two important things from Design Space. When you bring over a mug, it's already attached. So everything is already as one design. When you're making your own design, you need to make sure you highlight all the layers and attach them so that when you send it over to your cutting mat, it all goes together. So since this one is already done, everything's ready to go, I can just go to the Make It screen and I can send that over to my Joy. I'm going to select my Joy. That's what I have lined up, my Cricut Joy. I will make that and send that over to the Cricut Joy. And we can watch that one cut. Before we do that though, and I'm sorry I'm going to jump you around because I would like to show another version of a mug that I already have in the works. So I didn't want to pop it out. I wanted to take you guys along for the ride. So this is a design I did with the Infusible Ink. So I have it set up to the Joy. I've got most of it drawn out. I just need to add my yellow. So I'm going to add my yellow pen and then I'll hit go. So Felicia, if you want to go to my overhead as my main screen, we'll do that one. And then I'll jump back to the Good Morning mug. So I apologize, but I was mid-process of this one. I thought it would be fun to show it. I need to stop sharing. Let me stop sharing so Felicia can jump me over. Okay. All right, so here's our mug, or here's our Joy with the design. You can see it's already been cut out. Already been drawn. These are the 3 colors I've used. It's a 0.4 pen, and they are for my Cricut Joy. The Cricut Joy pens, the tops are a little bit different. So that's how you always know it's a Cricut Joy. They're little pens like that, little pen caps. I put the pen cap on the back of my pen. So when I put it in and I'm ready to take it out, I don't have to look around for my pen. So I slide that into the blade position, into the blade holder. I close it up, and then you go back to your computer and you would tell it to go. So I'm going to say go. And it will start drawing. So now what I've done already on this one is I mirrored my image. Everything was sent together. And so all it had to do was just draw out each line. You can also, while we're here, you can also use your laser paper. I have some cut out here. And you can use freehand pens. So these are the Cricut freehand pens, and you can draw with these. What I really like about these freehand pens is that you have 2 different tips. So you have a wavy tip, and you could just draw whatever you'd like on it. If you can do some waves on your mug, you can do that. And then you have a little bit narrower tip. Now, if you were to do lettering, you would need to remember that it would need to be mirrored. So what I would do if I were doing something like that, I would print it out, like mirror it, print it out, put it up to a window, and then trace it that way. But with just my pens, I can draw little fishes or anything like that on my paper. And you may want to have this pre-cut into the shape of the mug so you don't have to, so you don't worry about what your design will be cut off, if anything. This is a great project for kids to draw little designs and things and have their artwork. If you wanted to keep their artwork forever, that would be a great project. Okay, so now it's telling me to go ahead and do my fine point in the clamp. So I did that and I said go, and it's going to go ahead and cut this out for me into the shape for the mug. And while that's cutting, I have my my mug here, which I've cleaned off, and I will lint roll it. So I just give it a good lint roll. And I usually will clear off my lint roller about every 5 or 6 mugs, I'd say. Just because, I don't know, somehow my house has a lot of lint. I don't know if anybody else is like that. Okay, so now I'm all cleared up there. And I used a small mug because this is a small design. Then I just have to go back to my software and say, unload. So now my Joy says, here you go, unloaded. When you remove your laser paper from your cutting mat, turn it over and you're removing your mat from the paper. And this prevents your paper from rolling because it would be more of a challenge to adhere your paper to the mug if it also rolled. So you want to just bring that off first. And then you have your design right here. Okay, so there we are. My design is backwards and mirror image. Now what's so cool is when you look at it, you see how light the colors are. And you may be thinking, Kesley, that is not going to work. But it is. You'll see, it'll turn nice and bright. And then if you wanted to, you could use your free hand and color in any space that your Cricut Joy didn't color in for you if you wanted to, like that. So you can always add that in. Okay, so when you're ready to put it on a mug, I'm going to grab some washi tape here. When you're ready to put it on the mug, the first thing you want to do is sort of line up, give yourself a line to follow. So I sort of will put a piece of tape on the top of my mug so I know where the center is going to be, like that. So I know this is going to be my center across from my mug. And then I will take my paper and kind of give myself a little fold there so I know where the half mark is. And you want to have your mug on the surface because it helps line up the bottom if your paper is flat to the bottom of the mug. So I can line it up like this. Oops. It's up there. So I get that about in the middle and I can line it up like that. Then once you have it where you want it to be and you've got it centered, you will take your heat resistant adhesive tape and you will start taping it to the mug. So my first one I'll put here. So it goes there. And then I pull really hard. Just give it like a nice strong tug, because what you really want to do is you want your transfer sheet, whether it's the laser paper or the infusible ink transfer sheet, you really want to make sure that that is pressed as tight as you can to the actual mug itself. Now, when you put it in your mug press, it like clamps it in there really tight. So that's always a good thing. But you want to make sure that there's no air bubbles in the mug, in the paper itself. That makes sense. So you want to make sure like you've got it really nice and tight. And then you can add more tape to ensure that you've gotten everything. and it's not going to wiggle on you. I think this is all a personal preference, how much tape you add or don't add. I also think it's sort of a trial and error thing. There's some that I don't add enough tape to. And what happens if it's not tight enough to the mug, what happens is it just doesn't, the color isn't as strong and vibrant. So I'm going to go ahead and do a lot of taping on this for this one because I want my colors to be nice and steady throughout the mug. So there we go. So that's on nice and tight on the top, and I'll just add a couple on the bottom here. Once you have your design on there, then you're going to add your butcher paper. So you want to use 3 sheets of butcher paper. And when you do the larger rolls of infusible ink transfer, the butcher paper comes with it. All right, there you go. I know you may think I'm crazy. Gosh, she's using so much tape, but I'd rather use too much tape than not enough tape. That's my motto. Okay, so I'll just take my butcher paper and I'll trim 3 sheets down to 4 inches. 1. And there we go. If you have the heat press, the beeps are the same right here. And this, you don't have to worry about it being in the same cutout as the mug itself. Okay. So we're just gonna use our paper trimmer, cut that down. And we've got this one ready to go. So I just am gonna put my butcher paper around it, same way, but I'm not gonna tape it. You can tape it if you felt like you wanted to, but you don't really need to. So I've just got it around there. It's nice and tight again, and I'm ready to put it in my mug press. So to put it in your mug press, you wanna put it in at an angle because that helps it slide in evenly, so you don't get any pull on your design. So you just slide it in. Now, if you'll notice, I can touch this, I can touch this, I can touch this, not hot. I do not want to touch the teal plates to put it down. So I just put it down like that, and it's in. It's nice and in there. And then you just push this down. Your lights will move, and it'll start heating up. And while that one's heating up, we can start on the good morning design. So I'm using black infusible ink for this one. And this, I love these little packages. They're just so cute. Okay, they're very cute. I'm gonna go back. Let me just go back here for 1 second and share. Felicia, do you mind? I'm just gonna go back into Design Space and show the steps on how to get it from Design Space to your mug. So guys, I'm sorry to be jumping back and forth and doing 2 projects at once. It's probably driving you crazy, but I just wanted you to see that one with the pens. Okay, so back to my good morning. It's here, it's ready to go. I'm gonna say make it. And it asks me, am I doing it with smart materials only, or do I need a mat? I need a mat for any type of ink transfer sheet. You want to use a mat, and you want to make sure you've selected mirror, and then continue. And I've selected my Joy machine, which, let me just finish this one. Let's see if that'll work again. It was working with the other. Did you know you can have 2 design spaces open at the same time and you can send it to different machines? Oops. So then you browse your materials And you can either look for the all materials or your favorite materials. I'm just going to look for infusible because I need infusible ink transfer sheet. So I select that. That's my sheet. And my default, I'm going to use the regular pressure. And then I'm going to load it onto my mat. And we'll go to the overhead. Once it's loaded onto my mat, I will have to come back and hit the go button. But I'm going to stop sharing and we'll go back to the overhead. And I'll show you with the black ink what that's going to look like. So what is really cool that I think about the infusible ink sheets is how the color when it comes out of the packaging, this is that black packaging I was talking about. So save this for your second sheet to go in that. How like dull the color is, but then when you actually make it, this is what it looks like. So I just think that is so great. Okay, so we're gonna just adhere the ink transfer sheet onto my cutting mat here. And this is the Cricut Joy size cutting mat. So how cute. Everything's little with Joy. I think of it as the fun size Cricut because you definitely can have more fun. Okay, so it has a sensor and the wheels start rolling. It brings it in. It checks my size for me. And then I'm going to go back over to my computer and it says to pause. And then that green light lit up and I said go. So now it's going to go ahead and cut this one. And Joy, while that's cutting, I can answer any questions.
Actually, something that I thought was important to point out is that with infusible ink, you leave the ink side up. So sometimes it can get a little confusing which way you put it on the mat.
Yes.
And then we have a couple of questions about why we use 3 layers of butcher paper with the pens.
Okay, what is there a specific question or just in general or?
In general, folks, I think I've answered everybody's questions, okay. But in general, the idea is when you're using infusible ink, you'll see that the infusible ink has like a carrier paper on it. When you put that around the mug, that will protect the infusible ink sheet inks from getting onto the heat plates of your mug press. When you use the infusible ink markers on laser paper, there's no buffer. There's nothing that protects the heat plates from getting the ink on them. So you want to add those extra sheets. And we found that 3 sheets is enough to create that buffer, and we're totally protecting the heat transfer plates from picking up any ink.
Yes.
As you're doing that.
Yes, and that buffer is not only in the paper on the transfer sheet, but you also have a backing on it. So this is one I've done where it has the carrier sheet, and this is the transfer sheet, which is much thicker than your laser paper.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so it looks like good morning is done. We can start weeding that. And our other design over here, I think it has like one more number to go. So we'll be able to pop that out pretty soon. That last number is flashing. And when you take it out, you want to set it on, you do not want to set it on like on a surface because it is so hot. So I like to use the my heat press pad, which for some reason I must have moved it when I was making other designs. So I have some towels, some terry cloth towels I'm going to put it on. But in a pinch, you can use your terry cloth towels, or you can use trivet from like a hot trivet or something like that. So for this, I'm just going to use that. Now it's beeping, telling me it's done. I release the handle. It releases it. It loosens it up. I can pick it up by the handle here, and you can see how the butcher paper browned in the press. So that just should let you know this is really, really hot. So we will set that aside, and that is going to cool. It takes about 10 minutes to cool, and we'll be able to pull that off before the end of class. as well as pull this one off before the end of class too. So this is the good morning, and we just need to weed it. So weeding means you're taking out the part that you didn't want to have on your design. So first I'm going to weed the outside like this, and then we'll weed the inside. When you use the transfer sheets, I think there's like 3 different ways I like to think of it, where you weed the negative space on a design, or you weed the positive space on a design. So those are 2 different ways. Oops, did I do that wrong? I did that wrong. No, did I do that? No, I'm doing it right. Sorry, guys. So I'm weeding this out here, and it literally just pops off the page. If you have trouble or you need to get into a little spot, you can curl your paper and it'll come off that way. You just give it a little curl and it'll come off. I can also, if you're doing something teeny tiny, you can use tweezers, but I don't recommend when I weed, I don't use my weeding tool, because I don't know, I guess I'm one of those people that might hammer my thumb. So I don't want to scratch my heat transfer material. I just, and you really don't need to, because like, honestly, like it will crack, and right where the cut lines are, it'll pop right off for you. So that's really all you need to do. All right, so there we go. So now I've weeded my design. I can turn it over and I can see that it's looking good. And I can put it, then I'm ready to put it on my mug. Now, if it doesn't cut all the way through to do the cut side of it, you can just take a pair of scissors and trim that down. So this little piece here, you want to have it clean to that edge, and I can see it on my transfer sheet here. Now the transfer sheet, I want to point out, this is sticky. So your transfer sheet is going to be sticky. And that's good, because when you add it to your mug, it will be sticky. So that's like you instead of using heat transfer tape, I just will have this stick on my piece here already. So let me grab another mug. Here we go, and we will lint roll it. Right now, my handy assistant this morning cleaned up all my mugs, but again, you could use like an alcohol wipe, you could use a baby wipe, you could even use, like, if you have lint-free towels to wipe it off with, you could do that. You just really want to give yourself a clean surface to start with. And I do recommend touching your transfer sheet as minimal as possible. So we put that there, and I'm going to do it a different way this time. I'm going to put the morning on the bottom. So this one, the morning, I put on the top. This is the finished one using the gray mug on the inside. So I put the morning on the top of the mug. This time, I think I want to put it so your lint roller stays to everything. I'm going to put it so the morning is on the bottom of the mug. We'll see how we like that. Okay, so again, you can put your, you can find your center, find the center of your paper. So I can line that up. I can find my center. If you're comfortable eyeballing it, you can just eyeball it across, or you can put your tape on it. And it'll also line up on the back edge here. So I will sometimes, like here, you'll see how much space you have between your handle and the design, and your handle and the design, and that will give you a good indication if you are lined up properly. I'm going to bring it over a little bit. So we're going to line it up, make sure I'm good with it. Yep, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so then I'm going to press it down here on this side. Really remember, pull it tight, 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 as tight as you can. And we're going to use the adhesive that is on my transfer paper right there. Give it a good rubbing right there. Same over here. I can see I got a little air over on this side. So I can just lift it up. And take your time on this step, because this is where this could be a make or break on your mug. If you get air stuck in there and it's not a tight fit, that will be your make. Now that's much better. That could be your make or break on your design. Okay, so I've got that on there, holding it down really well. It's all lined up on the bottom and on the top. So I'm just going to use the transfer paper and push this down to hold, make sure that's a good seal on top. This. So I'm going to push that in there. And if there's little spots that are open up top, you can use your tape. I can find my tape. You can use your tape. Tape it down here. Okay. And then we'll do the same on the bottom here. Just put the tape on it. I'm going to make sure that we have no air bubbles in there. Or if we do, we really minimize those. Okay. That's good. All right, and then we're ready to put it in the heat press. Now this time our heat press is all heated up. We do not need to use butcher paper on this design because it already has the extra layer in there, so it's not going to hurt my press or anything like that. Okay, so I'm just going to slide that in. Go ahead and put it in at an angle and slide it down. And then you close it up with the top. And you just press it down. And then my lights will start going and it'll start telling me that it's heating up and cooling down. Now, while that's doing it, I do want to show one more design to you guys. If you are interested in doing any type of layered work, this mug, where is the mug? Oh, here, this mug, I love this mug. It says, "Hello, beautiful." And I used an infusible ink set that has this adorable little flower in it. I cut the back design out of the flower and I put 2 circles in the design to add my own design in the center. So I cut this design first and then I cut this design and I just pop that right in here into the center of this design. So now I've merged 2 different sheets of infusible ink and I will heat them up as one layer. So that's how I layer my infusible ink sheets. So here's another one here.
Kesley, I think we just lost the power on your overhead camera.
Oh. There we go. Is that better? Are we back?
Are we back? We're back. Oh, we're back, but we need you to turn it so that it is landscape instead of horizontal.
Okay. Oh dear.
Technical moments, you guys.
I know. Is that better?
Turn it one more time because it's the backwards way now.
Okay.
This is the skill of a teacher, truly. Kesley is running her own cameras, her lighting, everything. But sometimes, every once in a while, we hit the challenges. Mm-hmm. It's still backwards.
Yeah, thank you. And I'll flip it around.
There we go. Now we get to see her
There
There
we
we go. Now you can see a work table is a crafter's work table should always look like it's got full of stuff on it, right?
go.
There we go, Kesley. You're perfect.
All right. I want to take everybody on more of a roller coaster ride than they've already been on. There we go. I know it makes me feel for the teachers who do this for a career all the time with their students. Technical difficulties. That's good. So you just weed off the extra part. I trim this down and then you adhere it. You just stick it on. So I left the full size of the transfer tape off the other design. So really all I have to do is stick it on there and it will stick right in that center spot. So I've cut that and then I just set it right in here. And then when I wrap it around my mug, I'll take these pieces off the side here. And when I wrap it around my mug, there's my design. Now, the one great thing I love about this transfer paper, they don't all have it. If you do the little fun size transfer paper sheet, they don't have the grid on the back, but the non-fun size ones do have the grid on the back. So you can always put your design on a self-healing mat and line up your grids to make sure that you don't get this crooked. So I've got my grids lined up there. I can just set this on top of it and line my grids up from the back like that and adhere that on. So, oh, this is ready to come off. Shall we see what our first design turned out? So now it's cooling off quite a bit, and you can see that here's the first sheet of the butcher paper, and some of the design did come off. And as you go, there's a little bit more of the design, and no design came off. So that's really good to know that I protected my surface using the right tools, the butcher paper. And now comes the part where you might hand your mug to your husband or somebody else in the house and say, can you take this off for me? But you really do, I do caution, because the mugs themselves, the body of the mug really does get super hot. So you definitely want to make sure you have a surface to put it on, and it's away from children. Even husband, my husband came in the other day and he wanted to touch one of the mugs that was cooling, and I was like, no, don't touch it. So you really do, you want to treat it like a boiling pot of water, because it is so hot, and you certainly don't want to scald anybody. Okay, so here's Joy. Is there any question I can answer while this is coming off?
I am just looking. Everybody's loving the class. I'll tell you that. Everybody's happy with the class. I think we've got some folks who are ready to make some mugs.
Before you go, I'm just gonna, this just beeped at me. So I'm gonna unseal it. I'll pull my mug out. Look at that, guys. Ooh, look at that good transfer already. And I'll put that on my paper towel here. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that everybody's super excited. And I see that folks are ordering their mug presses. And yes, there is a little tiny bit of a wait because these have been so popular. We didn't quite expect them to be as popular as they are. Check michaels.com. And if you don't find it in store, check michaels.com and you can order your mug press and your infusible ink sheets and have everything on their way to you.
All right, and there is my cute little mug. Wake up, be kind, love life, and repeat.
That's adorable.
It's a little hot to touch. Now, I did use the 0.4 size ink pens on this, just so people know. As a reference, the 1 point would be a thicker line, and you can combine in Design Space. Like I could have kept my writing at the 0.4 and done my outline at a 1 point if I had those pens handy. But there's my little rainbow, so cute, and my colored in heart. I hope my lighting isn't washing it out too much.
Kesley, can you show us your initial, your monogrammed
Oh, yes.
mug, and then show the beautiful one a little closer up to the camera so we can really get a good view of it.
Okay, so this is my monogram mug, and I just used a font I didn't use like a monogram font. I just used a regular font in Design Space and put it in a circle. Thought I was pretty clever with that. And then this is the heat transfer paper as it came out. And I have, let me just, I think this is really cool to know how the paper changes. So this is how the paper started. It's a little bit dull, you know, and then this is how it applied onto the mug. Super cute. And then this is what the paper looked like after I applied it. So definitely you can see the ink really came out of there. And then this mug, hello, beautiful. I love this one. I don't know if I thought I had a box, Joy, handy of the paper so you could see it, but it's really cute. It comes with a navy and a red design, which is really fun. And what I'd like to do is add on to that cute little design and do some Hello Beautifuls on these Cricut Infusible Ink coaster blanks that I have. Use those, and then you'd have a cute little design to go with it. And you could even use it to keep your mug cool. Keep your coffee hot with the mug press, with the mug top, and then use it as a coaster, which is cute.
So, all right. Do you think you can touch that last one? Is it too hot?
I was just gonna say, let me pull this off. I do find that I'm a little bit I'm not patient. Patience is a virtue I sorely lack. I don't know anybody else like that. Oh, look at that.
And I don't know if you guys can see how shiny it looks. It really is like in there, and it's super shiny and it's super pro. And this is like the greatest gift for a teacher, for your friends, for like brides who are getting together, like a little bride tribe, or, you know, at a birthday party, if everybody had the same little mug. I think it's just super, super pro.
It is really cute. I do. I don't know. Do you guys like the white inside or the gray inside?
I like them both. I feel like it'll go with the newspaper.
Yeah.
I know we don't all read the newspaper anymore, but with your iPad newspaper.
Your virtual newspaper.
Yes.
Well, guys, I think that's everything. I hope you've gotten all of your questions. Yay, thank you, Linda. I hope you guys have gotten all of your questions answered. And you are super excited to do some mugs. We do check, I follow the Cricut with Michael's hashtag. So if you do make a mug, I would love to see what you create. And if you want to just pop that hashtag on Instagram, it will pop up in my feed and I'll get to see it. So I'm super excited. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Have a fabulous afternoon.